Hey guys, I'm JanetOnOccasion, and today playing another Total War Warhammer II Battle Replay. So this is actually the 5th game I had against Dav. This was the decider. Now, just word of warning, I've got a horrible cold, so yeah, if I splutter or say things a bit wrong or, you know, anything, or lose my voice entirely, that's why. I'm up to my eyes in cold medicine, so I can bring you this episode, so bear with me. So anyway, I brought the Wood Elves, and I'm against Bretonnia, so I've gone a little bit unconventional. So my front line doesn't actually have shields. Shields in the front line would have probably been pretty useful, but I wanted to save a little bit of money while going quite wide, because I wanted to save money for stronger infantry. So I brought 3 lots of War Dancers. These guys will just chop through peasants all day, but I got to watch out for arrow fire. With these guys. Same with my War Dancers with Azrai Spears. These guys will just chop through like any cavalry. They are really good anti-large units and really quick. And, you know, with all this other stuff going on, I think it should be quite easy to sort of slip them in and, you know, they blend in, right? You know, they're not, you can't see them straight up, because when there's like a load of front line fighting, the Eternal Guard, you know, they got the same flags. So it does help a bit. Sort of, you know, smoke and mirrors, guys, smoke and mirrors. So I've got Orion leading. Obviously he's an absolute tank. He is so hard to take down. I've also got a Branch Wraith, so I've got a much sturdier sort of frontline fighting mage, you know, rather than a spell singer. So I find the Branch Wraith really useful at the moment, especially because they give an aura of +8 melee attack. So it means that, you know, my War Dancers, if you look at their stats, I mean, 49 melee attack at the moment, which is huge. And, you know, with good weapon strength as well, like, they're just going to chop through peasants all day. So, yeah, it's really going to help my front line just push through. Also, I've got the Sisters of Thorn. So, like in a recent replay that I mentioned, so they've got a couple of free spells. So that will help missile resistance, which is great for my War Dancers, and also another one that lowers accuracy. Obviously, this also raises damage, so I can just put the damage up on my War Dancers, even if they're not being attacked. And I can also lower the melee attack of things as well. So I can either use these 2 spells to help against missile fire, or just to help kill things in the front line, and, you know, just remove their melee attack, basically. It's huge. I love those 2 free spells. And no Winds of Magic, you know? And also, these guys do have 50% physical resist. So, they're absolute monsters. They're a nightmare to deal with, and they only cost like 1,000. They're cheaper than Wild Riders, but I think they just have so much utility. So, speaking of Wild Riders, I got these 2 Wild Riders with shields, so a bit of missile resist for them. And these guys are just so fast. If we look at their speed, it's, yeah, 85 speed. That is crazy for cavalry that hit that hard. I mean, 67 charge bonus, 45 weapon strength. They're just crazy tough. And yeah, 42 melee attack. These guys are just glass cannons. They will just smash things. It's great. So, anyway, let's look at what Dav brought. It's about time we got to his army, right? So, in the front line, he's got a load of Battle Pilgrims. These guys will trade very well against Eternal Guard, but they will not trade well against War Dancers. So, yeah, still good to have, I think. You know, they can frenzy and stuff. They're good. They're good. But he's going to have trouble against my War Dancers. Also, he's got these Men-at-Arms with shields. He's got Spear Men-at-Arms on either side, a couple units in the back as well. And he's got these 2 Paladins helping the front line. These will help him win any frontline engagement. You know, that will tip the balance in his favour. But, obviously, I've got Orion and the Branch Wraith that could easily just take out a Paladin. No problems at all there. So, I'll have to watch what I'm engaging with, really, to make the best out of you know, my troops and negate sort of his strongest parts, I think. So also in the back line, he's got Peasant Bowmen with Pox Arrows. These guys are going to be really good. The Pox Arrows are going to help with that poison, slowing my units down. And yeah, the fact that he's brought so many bowmen is really bad for me, because I don't have the best sort of melee, the best missile defense. So yeah, my Sisters of Thorn are going to have to work overtime to keep everyone protected, so that'll be really good fun. Also, he's got the Fey Enchantress, just a solid pick for Bretonnia, to be honest. They got that Mortis Engine effect when she's fighting. She gets the Chalice of Potions for a couple of free casts of Comet Cassandora. They're just she's very good, and she's very quick on that thing. I think she actually is faster than, yeah, 95. She can outrun Wild Riders. I mean, that is nuts, right? So, pretty great on that Unicorn. Was it Silveron? Something like that? Anyway, Knights of the Realm as well. So, good anti-large. These guys will smash my Wild Riders to pieces if he can get on them. So, let's speed things up and see how it goes. So, in the front line, you can see I'm just gonna come in and you know, straight away with my main core units. I'm gonna peel off the War Dancers where appropriate to, you know, screen out any cavalry. But right now, this is a bit of a feint. So I can see he's got these guys quite far back, but he doesn't think I'm, you know, he's waiting for me to come around, right? And he can mark. No, I'm not coming around. I'm going straight through. These guys have got no mass, these Battle Pilgrims. You can run straight through them. So, ton of damage already. So, yeah, do some more damage to the Peasant Bowman. The reason why I kept going forward is because I could see he hadn't moved these guys yet. I can outrun him. I can escape these guys. Probably through here, but he's chasing with Spearmen. So I'm going to keep going down the line. Because, you know, I'm charging in with infantry and things around the place. It's very hard for him to micro. He can just get his cavalry after me. He's moving a spearman after me, so I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep going. Get the other battle pilgrims. So I actually charge them from both sides. You see, doing a ton of damage. But unfortunately, he does have a lot of archers firing at me now. And I am going to get a bit stuck on these spearmen at arms, which is a big mistake. The fact that I attacked sideways, I kept charging through the battle pilgrims and ended up landing into the spearmen at arms. So you can see one wild rider very, very damaged. Over on this side though, I've just smashed through with everything. So the Eternal Guard and the battle pilgrims actually fairly even, which is kind of annoying for me. But over on this side, all this stuff has just collapsed. I'm just collapsing right through. Done a ton of damage to his Knights of the Realm. Done a ton of damage to that Paladin with Orion. And I've punted him halfway across the map, so that's fantastic. So I've got one unit, still 22 models, so that's pretty good, but they're running away. I've also got 33 here that I can use, and I've got these Sisters of the Thorn, which are as yet to get in. So here, I should have just quickly got them back into this back line, but I was a bit wary about the Knights of the Realm, which actually Dav has pulled out almost completely. So here, he's Awakening the Wood to slow down my units, which is a good shout. And now he's going to try and collapse on these guys. He's pulling his archers out, which is very clever. One got terrified, but he's going to keep running. That's fine. He's barely taken any damage. So now all these archers can just turn around and start shooting into my War Dancers and Eternal Guard that just don't have the missile resist. So here, you know, I've got my Wild Riders and some War Dancers trying to finish off these Spearmen and these Knights of the Realm. I've got my Sisters of the Thorn sort of waiting. I should have just charged into the rear of these guys, because I think that would have tipped it over the edge. I think that would have got them terrified. So use Melkos Mystify Miasma, just do some extra damage, and it means if he did try and retreat, I could chase him down better, because of that slow that Melkos Mystify Miasma does. So it's very useful just to sort of hit them with that, just in case they do want to change their mind. Because in prolonged combat, I'm going to win that. But, you know, if I slow down his retreat, he's going to take a lot of damage trying to run. So one unit's already pretty much wiped out. Another Awakening the Wood here, very good spell, hit a lot of my guys there, did some pretty good damage, but, I mean, not a huge amount, but it slowed them down, so I can't keep steamrolling the same. Over on this side, I did lose some units. The Paladin was able to back up his Spearmen at arms, and that really helped get through the last of these War Dancers. Over here, I'm trying to deal with, you know, what I can with the Wild Riders, so I saw some Battle Pilgrims that were pretty damaged, so I thought I'd finish them off, and now I need to get around to these archers. I've left these archers online for far too long. So that was a bit sloppy, honestly. So here, I do need to get my cavalry busy again. So Sisters of the Thorn are now coming into the fight. So this is beautiful, actually. These two had fled, and Dav hadn't noticed. He was too busy microing something else, I imagine, that he didn't notice me go for these archers. So I thought I could just hit these guys while they're unprepared. And honestly, this initial charge, it isn't going to be the worst thing in the world. So I hit him with the Hawk's Talon, I believe it is. And you can see my Sister of the Thorn with that 50% damage resist. They don't actually get hurt too much, to say they've just had 2 units of cavalry that are anti-large just charge them. That is crazy resilience for something, you know, as sort of fragile as these guys, you know. They will actually just tank out a lot of damage in melee. So now I can get into the rest of his army, which is great. I get Earth Blood on these guys, so now I get a lot more health on the unit. So you can see, Sister of the Thorn doing really well. Here you can see suddenly those Spearmen at Arms, they had enough very quickly. Over on this side, he did manage to chase off those Wild Riders. So that's a pity. I like those Wild Riders. But anyway, now I'm getting into the rest of his units here. Unfortunately, he does have a load of Spearmen, and he is starting to sandwich me with these Knights of the Realm. And you can see archers are coming back. I think these guys, oh no, they are broken. I thought maybe they were just terrified, but no, they are broken. So I try to use Hounds of Orion, probably not the best place for them. Honestly, I think it'd be best to hit another unit of Peasant Bowmen, because it will just kill them to pieces. But I just wanted to break these guys as quickly as possible, so I wasn't fighting on 2 fronts. So another Melkos Mystify Miasma on the healthiest group of knights, and I use Curse of Anacrea on all of these guys, so you can see their melee attack has been reduced by 26%, and it's lowered their speed, so they can't retreat as easily. So that's pretty huge. That is pretty huge, just for a free spell that they get there. Over on this side, you can see we've got a lot of War Dancers fighting here. These War Dancers can deal with the Spearmen. These War Dancers can kill the Fey Enchantress. You know, I've got anti-large and anti-infantry in here, which is great. But I don't want these guys, you know, to keep fighting. So I get a nice rear charge in to try and weaken these guys with one unit of cavalry, then the other. I'm just basically pogoing back and forth because, yeah, the more charges I can get on things and the harder it is for him to pin me down, the better. Also, I've got Orion constantly just charging things, trying to spread his terror, because there's no Grail Reliquary. in this Bretonian force, so they're incredibly susceptible to terror with their low leadership. So that's pretty great for me, honestly. So over here you can see one of my War Dancers got broken, so that's a bit of a shame. Especially because I used Shield of Thorns on these guys, that's a bit of a pity. But you can see Fey Enchantress, she's about to come in here with a Chalice of Potions, so that's a free cast of Comet Cassandora, and I don't spot it, so I couldn't get rid of these guys. So that's a real shame, I couldn't move them. And kablam. So that's a ton of damage to these guys. Also, I used Woven Mist by accident. I thought that would be the thing that put up melee defense at the cost of melee attack, because I wanted them to survive longer. But it's the other Azrai Spear, the other War Dancer that have that ability, so I got it the wrong way around. And to be honest, probably a bad idea anyway, because they've got, Fey Enchantress got that Mortis Engine effect, so me just holding out longer there isn't going to help me. So that was a bit dumb, honestly. But it's fine. I mean, it didn't really cost me anything. They got blown up anyway. So, over here, so I'm chasing off the Fey Enchantress, but you can see she's moving really quick. So I'm trying to do some damage here, but I'm not actually going to stay on her. I don't want that Mortis Engine effect, like, whittling down all my units before I can start chasing off all these guys. Because, frankly, yeah, I just want to make everything shatter. That way, I only have the Fey Enchantress to deal with. So over here, I'm trying to deal with this Paladin. You see Orion's taken a ton of damage, but he is so hard to take down. Yeah, he hasn't hit his healing cap yet. Oh wow, now he almost has. Nope, that's the what? Sister of the Thorn. My bad. So Orion hasn't hit his healing cap yet, and he's going to have a load of healing from the Cloak of Isha. So he's going to be so hard to take down. They just don't have the armor piercing left. So here you can see anti-large, which is great. They could do well, actually, you know, focusing down Orion. But I got too much cavalry that he has to get rid of. So here he's pinning me in place, surrounding me with spears. Honestly, I thought with that charge I'd take him down quicker, but I don't think Orion is close enough to spread that terror. So he was able to mop up a lot of my cavalry, which is a real shame, because my cavalry have been doing great. I absolutely love these guys. So anyway, but this Paladin, he doesn't stand a chance against these units. Annoyingly, he's got a load of cheap spearmen. If he can keep the leadership up of these spearmen, then they are actually going to whittle away at Orion's health quite a lot. But I get an Earthblood here just to give him a bit of an advantage again. And you see, yep, there we go, Paladin starting to terrify. Another Paladin coming in who's injured. The Fey Enchantress cannot stay in this fight too long. But you can see he does have units regrouping. So he's getting some archer fire. It should be really easy for him to hit Orion with archers while he's in this engagement, because he's massive. He just sticks out so much, you can still shoot at him quite happily. So over here, I did actually have my Sister Thorn come back, all 5 of them. Brilliant. So that'll be useful when they come back. Anyway, so yeah, so I'm finishing off these Knights of the Realm. They just keep coming back. There's only 8 of them left, and these Paladins keep coming back. You can see they're all incredibly tattered. But he has been going just, you know, completely obsessively going for Orion. But frankly, Orion is the only thing keeping me in this fight. If Orion dies, that's it. So it makes sense he's focusing him down with everything. I mean, look how much health he's got left. He's got 1,000, but Cloak of Isha is going, so he's just going to keep getting health back. He's going to regenerate quicker than he get damaged, and that's just the way with Orion. You've got to be able to take him out with, like, you know, a lot of big sustained fire from things. At the end of the battle, at this point, there's just never enough strength left. Which is why I was trying to use, you know, all my cavalry just to keep hitting different peasants, just whittle down everything. That way he's just fighting a load of tattered guys that he can just keep terror routing away. And then they just won't be able to sit and do enough sustained damage to him. He's just going to heal through any damage they do, you know, while the next one bravely steps forward and then is terrified away. So, yeah, it's just so hard to take down Orion at this point. So you can see one of the Paladins coming back, the other one will come back. Fey Enchantress, she's trying to keep her distance, but it's going to be tough. Oh, one thing that's a bit annoying actually, which actually affected me a lot in this battle, is when you've got a couple of guys selected, if one of them is ranged, even if you hold Alt, which usually will force melee. So if you got, like, you know, Peasant Bowman for instance, if I clicked on them and I wanted to fight melee, I just hold Alt and hit attack, and they'll charge in. It's not working with groups anymore. If you select a few units and hold Alt, the ranged ones won't, you know, be forced into melee, and which is annoying because Orion's got that javelin, so he basically performs like a ranged unit. So a lot of the time he's lagging behind the Branch Wraith because I had to order him in separately, which is kind of annoying. I mean, obviously I can toggle melee mode, but I'm just not used to doing that. I always use Alt. So anyway, enough of that. That's something to watch out for if that's, you know, something you use. But anyway, so here I'm basically just trying to finish off these guys, but with the Cloak of Isha, I just don't see him doing the damage. Although, you know, I am down to 800 now, so he's done 200 damage in the last, you know, 5 charges. So it's, yeah, it just doesn't work, honestly. You just can't take down Orion at this point. So yeah, you can see one unit terrified. Oh, another Paladin dead. And yeah, now the Fey Enchantress is running away, and it's all over from here. So yeah, you can see everything shatters, and it's just Orion. It's all about Orion, guys. He just won't die. And against sort of Bretonnia that don't have, you know, a lot of very punchy sort of you know, anti sort of like armor piercing or whatever. They don't have handgunners, basically, right? They don't have anything like handgunners or, you know, sort of chosen with halberds. They don't have anything just big that can do massive damage to large units. They don't really have any of that at the moment, which is a bit silly, really. I mean, it should be the Knights of the Realm and like the Grail Knights, but even then, they're very expensive and they're a big, you know, they're a big investment. You end up with no front line, and they can't fight everybody. Bretonia's in a bit of a iffy spot at the moment. I think it might have been better to bring maybe Louis, actually, just so he's got some healing. He can spread terror himself, and you know, just bring a life mage just with earth blood or something, just sort of keep people healed up. But I think he needed something with big armor piercing that he could just keep cycle charging with. I think that would have done it, honestly, because Orion was super damaged by the end of it, and he just needed to, you know, he needed something that could hit hard. And I think just a, you know, a charge from Louis, he could just lose 500 health, you know, per charge, and that's, yeah, I wouldn't have been able to heal through that. So I think that's what he needed, but unfortunately he didn't bring it. So, but then, you know, I didn't bring the most conventional army. I mean, I didn't bring any ranged units. That's kind of odd. Well, I guess Skirmish Cav with Sister Thorn. Speaking of Sister Thorn, 103 kills. And all that support, you know, they were giving through those spells, you know, lowering melee attack on their side, adding, you know, weapon strength to my side. It was crazy. These guys are fantastic. They did better than one of the units of Wild Riders. Not as good as that one, though. I mean, look at that. It's crazy. But yeah, War Dancers did great. Killed a load of peasants. Orion just cleaned up. Branch Wraith, not a huge amount of kills, but he stayed alive and able, you know, he gave me that +8 melee attack. And also, you know, the healing and Melkosmis Find Miasma, like, he did a lot of work. He had a lot of utility. And, yeah, and he could use all the winds of magic, because Sister Thorn didn't need them, which I absolutely love. So, you know, I think this performed pretty well. You can see here, you know, Knights of the Realm, they performed pretty well themselves. I mean, that was all kills against cavalry. You know, they were rarely fighting infantry. It's only that one engagement where, you know, they pinned down my War Dancers. But, you know, they did good. But looking at the chevrons that are on these bowmen, I don't know if he started with any chevrons, but they look like they earned a lot. You know, these guys are responsible for a lot of dead Wild Riders, Sister of the Thorn, and War Dancers. It was pretty grim. But yeah, as you can see, Battle Pilgrims. Look at that, 1 and 4. These were the ones that were fighting either War Dancers or being charged by cavalry. They just couldn't perform. The other ones, the fighting Eternal Guard, you can see did well. So that's something to note. You really don't want these guys fighting other sort of you know, like damage dealer types, because they're the worst at that, you know? They're good against stuff like, you know, spearmen and things, they'll do great there, but you can't have them against something that serves a similar purpose from a different army, because they just don't match up well enough. So, yeah, damage dealer and damage dealer. And you can see which one paid off, right? So, anyway, guys, so obviously, go and check out DahvPlays. He is a fantastic player. I was really lucky to get a win out of this. These were some incredibly close matches. So, mad respect there. So, go check out his channel. Say hi from me. And, yeah, if you enjoyed this, please do comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one, which might not be tomorrow because this cold is ruining me. But as soon as I'm able. So, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.